Hello, this is Mike Frank. I'm a MySQL Product Management Director at Oracle, and today I'm going to talk about setting and viewing MySQL system variables. Okay, so I'm going to do a little demo for you and explain how you can set different variables and how you look at them. Really is the main point. And so I'm going to go into SSH and I'm going to connect. Okay, I'm using MySQL shell here. So for this, I'm going to look at max connections. And so you can show variables in various ways in MySQL. So you can use the show variables command in general. You can show global specifically, and you can show session. All right, and right now I can see that it's set at 151. But the other thing I can look at is sort of what, and see these in more detail, is I can hit the, and really not that much detail, but I can hit the performance schema tables. And what's interesting here, right, is as I see the global value, I see the session value, right, it's the same as the show ones. But if I do this persisted variables, I can see that there's nothing. And what that means is that I haven't set the variable inside using a set persist only or a set persist. And so it's not in that MySQL auto configuration. Now I can go in and say I do a set persist. Right, so now I'm going to change the value to 300 from the default of 151. So now if I look at that variable from these three ways, right, okay, it's all set to 300 because I persisted it and it's a dynamic variable. Now I can go back and I can reset that, right? And now it's going to be gone from the persistence after I do a restart. But right now it's not going to be, it's going to be gone from being persisted as well, I believe. Yeah. So now you can see if I do a reset persist and I've set things back to the default, and that's why I don't get a value back. Whereas after I did a set persist, right, I got this value. So now say I do a set global. Right, so it's going to set it globally, and I run these commands again. Right, it's not persisted. And what that means is if I restart the server, it's going to come back to 151. So that's sort of interesting. The other thing just interesting, I think, is that you can look and see where sort of the setting values for settings come. And so here I've said I want to look at the variables info table, which has a lot of info, and I'm going to see things that aren't compiled in. So I can see compiled in things, but more interesting is, okay, what got set on the command line or what got set dynamically. And also it'll tell you who set it. And so here I can tell max connections, was set by root, and this is when it changed. So you get some nice metadata there so you can look at things. And then you can also, limit it, say I just want to look at things. I've got a bad command there. Is not null. Right, and so now I can just look at ones that users might have set. So that gets me straight to what happened. Anyway, I hope this quicker overview helps. One thing also to note is that for values that affect sessions, the sessions inherit from the global the value when they connect. And so if the value changes, the new value for a session won't happen until you start a new session, a new connection. And that's just how MySQL works. So just realize that's one of the things that you can't go back into a session and change it. but the session, when it gets established, takes the defaults. All right. That'll be it for today. Thanks for using MySQL.